Bomdula Gun, Tubjo Gazeling Gumbe, Dugan Sarshing Legruki Zegudir, Chebeb Zebe, Bel Yameru Gelube, Zugen, Gabje Gande, Tirumche Chog U, Badmashri, Gabje Mira Lama, Guru Chokru Muche Chodan, Gamne Gendungi de, Aruna Chalangate Lunchen, Bemakando Chodan, Yagara Ushungu Chozo Tumi Tabir Gao, Deshi Yagara Ushungu Kundun, Sanenge Kundu, and Chinanga Kundu Namba. Dede Mangso Jelia, Pumi Dixu, Kashak Subshude, somebody testle Shuyin. Drupcho Gazelin Gundi, Taran Shoge, Gabje Mira Michigi, Kanamana Shinchene, Chidong of Young Chungagu, Tuxtamba Samlia, Sane Mangso Gi, Zugdunande, Gurumche, Kukomacholia, Gongo Puashi, Red Dojing, Taja Guruchoru Muchi Choge, Zingon Nangshimbari, Tubjo Gazelingi Yalatu, Shenyun Tine, Guru Tembe Drume, Lobdar Surzu Yangdobate, Chizol Pelop Gachish, Chunguyoba, Der Jesirantang, Nabju Shuduchung, Tagetone, Tubjo Gazelingi, Modep, Facebook Jebe Kabla, Tarin Unje Nawe Gombe Dugan Sarshen, To, Nyahurgi Chongde Tang, Soba, Trumambushi, Tanglangi Gone, Cherunyamdegi Roram, Shushimbe Tongwe, Menu Dir, Tadung, Nangbe, Chamze, Rikshung, Mang, Tobushi Yoba, Soridu, Dugan Di, Mangdo, Chino Konskango Chumbuchogi, Jonan Zedube, Chinubki, Chengar Rabdu Barwa, Magushin, Shirupki Temba Tarshingebe, Mendu Shuguyu, Mira Lama, Kunten Rimjunam, Gesi, Kyongendang, Tube Rigu, Peu Zembu Dungu So, Tube Rogar Nasoshi, She Dukjing, Mira Lama Kunten Rimjuntang, Gewang Kunten Rimjun Pechewa, Lalobki Jetun, Dewa, Tumo Maimba, Chunguyula, Menyuto, Rio Gelukbe Temba, Nyatawe Kapso, Konsangaba Chimbe Kagonshi, Chikdon Truge Gajulor, Mira Lama Kundengaba, Shuje Lodre Gaju, Tawang Ganden, Lazarshen Nawatang, Konsachogi, Mira Lama, Lanirtu Koshaki, Muyuki, Chusi Niki, Zegur Tebe, Mira Lama, Kunten Rimjune, Muyutu, Chusiki, Zedin Gachir Chang Yujing, Mira Lama Kunten Tubani, Yawan Kunten Tuba, Rinzin Sayan Yanzu, Chumbur Chungyola, Kunten Chuba, Kwansa Chube, Kutsap to Zangde, Mundan, Druki Sanzam, Chingdum Nawa So, Namtar Mangboyu, Mira Lama Kunten Chuniba, Gabji Denzi Chile, Namge, Rimbuche Chogi Yang, Sugar Sini Tazane, Long Juda Chiktan, Chagatsam, Lomien Zede, Debon Gomang, to Geshil Harambatang, Yumeto, Narimbe, Tamjo Zeba Mase, Megube, Gego, Shenshin, Sugar Gandepuran exam to Chino Conscamgo Chumbu Chola, Lomang, Sishu Hurge, Jumna, Yube Chun, Dendu, Zedin, Chidang, Yango, Muyutu, Shudan, Rikshun, Shenyun, Chizo Shepshu Chale, Sengtun Nangwar, Yagar Ushune, Ngunzi Chedugi, Badmashiri, Sengda, Bishe Zebaso, Zedin, Yarngun Dadar, Geshimbar, Iran Shu, Tadun Chino Conscamgo Chumbucho, Tenzin, Gejen, Tamba, Kuzin, Zedin Gabadang, Tukshe Lundub Yuma, Mundun Shugitang, Gabdun Mira Lama, Gabja Chodri Rumuche, Kuzi Tenzin, Tendu Chasha, Labjan Drube, to get Dusmimbe, Mundun Shushin, Sigon Pembeserengi. We all know that Ganden Tirumuche, at this very late stage of his life, at an elderly stage, has taken the pain to come all the way up to Bomdila to attend this inaugural ceremony, and we should consider it a real opportune time for us to take blessings from him, because he is the throne holder of the Gelugpa tradition of the Tibetan Buddhism, which Guru Rinpoche also mentioned this morning that it was derived from the Nalanda tradition of Indian Buddhism. Since we lost our country in 1959, and subsequent to that, we had a spate of ill fortunes that ran over Tibet, followed by natural disasters and also man-made disaster, particularly during the 10 years of Cultural Revolution between 1966 to 76, when in the whole of China, everything old was being destroyed. It was more so in Tibet, where about 6,000 Tibetan monasteries were destroyed, and most of the monks and nuns were derobed, made to walk on scriptures, and had to go through all kinds of inhuman experiences. Now, despite all that, when we lost our country in 1959, we always like to look at the brighter side of things. We keep saying that we lost our country, that's bad for us, but the world gained the Dalai Lama. And even as we were sitting on the dais, the Honorable Chief Minister, to whom I have a lot of respect and appreciation for the work that he does and how he conducts himself in political life without major problems. Since Pema Khanduji came to this position, I've been watching all the developments, and we can see that Arunachal Pradesh is also going through a very peaceful time. And he has also taken a lot of initiatives to support local cultural groups, Buddhist institutions, and he has also been to Dharamsala several times where I had the occasion to meet with him. And it's not very often that we get to come to Bomdila or Tawang. That is why I thought maybe I'll share some of the information that you may not know, that since we came into exile, the reason why Mera Rinpoche rebuilt this, or renovated or rebuilt this monastery is also one of the many monasteries and nunneries that His Holiness has inspired religious leaders to build these monasteries. And as per the instruction of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in 2017, Mera Rinpoche built this monastery. And these monasteries, as His Holiness always says, is not a place to just organize Seju Nyernga or those kind of things, just gather on the 10th day of the lunar month or the 25th day of the lunar month and do some prayers. That's not enough. The monasteries are meant to be centers of learning. So this is where teachings and learning of Tibetan Buddhism needs to be undertaken. And this is where you develop your mind. When you say chö in Tibetan, it means changed. It's the past tense of chö. Chö means change. So what do you change? Change your mind. So what you learn from Buddhist teachings, you have to practice every single day. It's not just during when you receive teachings or not just during when you visit the monasteries. You have to understand the meaning of the teachings of Buddha and practice it in your life every single day, every single hour. It's not just enough to be able to read scriptures. Even if you are able to read scriptures, but if you are not able to experiment it with yourself or experience it yourself, then Buddhist teachings does not make sense, just as any other teachings in this world. So, many of you who have been to South India and other places where Tibetans live, you will find that there are many big monasteries, out of which Mera Rinpoche has graduated from the Gomang University, Gomang College in the Drepung University of South India. And we are very encouraged to see that many of the Himalayan Buddhist students who joined the bigger monasteries in South India, not only in Gelugpa tradition, but also in Nyingma, Kagyu, and other traditions, Sagya traditions, now they have finished their studies, they are coming back to their local places and then also start preaching in the local language. That is why I keep saying when I visit monasteries these days, because I also function as the Religion and Culture Minister for the Central Tibetan Administration, that the physical, material things are good, but the main important thing is the study of and the teachings of the Buddha. I also want to mention that under the Religion and Culture Department of the Central Tibetan Administration, we have about 292 registered monasteries and nunneries, and there may still be more monasteries and nunneries that does not come under the Religion and Culture Department of Central Tibetan Administration. When I joined this, when I took this responsibility in 2021, we found that there were little more than 42,000 monks and nuns in these 292, or maybe less at that time, monasteries and nunneries. Now, this year, when we check the statistics, it has gone down by 2,000. So it's about 40,000 monks and nuns in India and Nepal. And some of the monasteries host about 5,000, 6,000 monks and nuns. And out of these 40,000 monks and nuns, today, the monks and nuns from the Himalayan region, whether it's from Ladakh or Laos Spiti or Nepal or Bhutan or Arunachal Pradesh, that constitutes about 69% of the total monk and nun population. And the Tibetan population is only about 29%. 2% comes from Mongolia or non-Himalayan or non-Tibetan population. So this is how we are consisted. And His Holiness has always said that the Himalayan people are responsible for carrying forward the teachings of the Buddha in the form of Tibetan Buddhism. So with this in mind, we have always, the Tibetans, historically, we have had a very strong relationship with the Himalayan region. We continue to do so. And in whatever capacity possible, we try our best to keep our monastic institutions together, help in the development of the teachings and sustenance of these monasteries, which are done mostly by the monastic institutions themselves, because they have centuries-old institutionalized management system and teaching system, which we don't need to interfere. They manage themselves. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mira Rinpoche for constructing this, and also Honorable Chief Minister for patronizing, for being a patron of this monastery, with not just sponsorship, but also moral and emotional support in getting all this thing done. And I also want to thank all the other sponsors, people who have contributed in making this possible. I cannot say for sure when we can be back here next, but whenever we are back, this time also I can see that there's a lot of development. I came here 2 years ago, and we can see a lot of development under the leadership of Honorable Chief Minister Pema Khanduji and his cabinet ministers and his political party. So I take this opportunity also to thank Honorable Chief Minister for his presence here and for his patronage of the monastery. And through this, we hope all the ordinary people like me, you and us, who are sitting on the ground, will have the opportunity to use this institution as an institute of learning to further your mind, to develop your mind, change your mind for the better, and work towards creating a world that is more peaceful and non-violent, and make this a better world to live in. Thank you so much.
Many thanks on the Sri